Alright. Hey reviewers, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys have been well. Today we're back with Groovy's Motorcycles in Crossingham, Heathfield. And today we're on a bike that I've been wanting to review for a long time. It's such a wicked machine. We've got the Royal Enfield Himalayan. Now we'll go into the technical bits in a minute, but this is an A2 compliant bike for, you know, £4,500, 24 horsepower. And it's basically, it's in the adventure category, I guess you would say, you know, like beginners, novice range. But it's not just that. I mean, this could be an excellent bike for a variety of things. So I'm really excited to do this review for you today. So what I'm going to do, weather pending hopefully, we're going to just ride up here, and then in a minute we're going to find a place to stop. I'll do a walk around for you guys, talk you through the bike so you can see it properly, talk about its features and functions, take it for another ride, and I'm going to demonstrate for you as well the tripper nav that you've got on here, because you've got a turn-by-turn navigation unit, which is just over on the right there. And then, yeah, ride it back, do some closing thoughts. So stay tuned and let's get it. I'll tell you what, just initial impressions before we stop. Yeah, alright, it's not a massively fast bike, but I think the people that it's appealing to, I don't think it's necessarily going to make a huge difference, you know. It's very easy to ride, super easy. And, you know, taller riders, I'm a big guy, as you know. It's nice and spacious, you've got plenty of room, the position's good, the seat's very comfortable, you know, even for a big chap, no drama there at all. I'll tell you what's very cool, and I've got to keep looking at it, is the dash there. It's wicked, you know. It's that simpler life type vibe, you know, and you don't have a massive LCD screen, you know, blasting commands at you and what's going on. You've got, you know, you've got a digital display there with some information on there, and we'll run through a bit of that as well. But this isn't one of those super technical setups, you know. For the most part you've got analog dials there, and they do the job. They do exactly what you need. But I'll tell you something for nothing, you can't say many bikes, I've got a compass. And this one does. So how about that? You can take your 20 gram bikes. This one's got a compass, so I'm not going to get lost. Don't need the sat nav, I use the stars. Alright guys, there she is, the 2021 Royal Enfield Himalayan. What a beauty. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to change cameras, mics, and we'll do the walk and talk of the bike, go around the features and functions, and then take it for a proper ride. Let's go. And there she is in all her glory, guys. This is the 2021 Royal Enfield Himalayan. What an absolute beauty. Such a peach of a bike. So, being the 2021 version then, guys, there's been a few changes made to the bike, and all of them are basically improvements. Now, just to kind of get it out of the way, they have had to make it Euro 5 compliant. You can still get the 2020 Euro 4s, but obviously, yeah, brand new ones, Euro 5. So what they've done here, you can now see the cat just on the exhaust system here as it goes through. It's pretty much the only change for the exhaust system visually, and it still has a nice little burble to it, as you've probably seen already on the startup, and we'll do a bit more of that in a minute. Also for 2021, they listened to the feedback and obviously what the users wanted from this. They've actually reinforced now the luggage rack at the back here. It says 7 kg on there, I've heard 7.5 banded around as well. But actually, you know, I think you just go with what it says in this. So 7 kg for the luggage rack. Up front here for the frame cages, these have been updated as well, so they look really nice. And the control panel here, much is the same as before. So you've got your normal switchgear on the side here, and on this side. For those who don't know, this actually has the tripper unit, which was co-developed between Royal Enfield and Google, so pretty big name there. We're going to pair up the phone as well, and we're going to do a short trip on it just to show you how it works, but I'll do some cuts to it. All you need to make it work is the Royal Enfield app for tripper, and you pair your phone to it much like you would on anything else really, so iOS and Android. So here's the display then, guys. There's your main speedometer, there's your tachometer separate to it as well, fuel gauge and compass, and there's your tripper unit. Now this part here is digital. I'll switch it on in a second so you can see. There's your compass. Now although the display says 100 miles an hour, I think that's probably quite optimistic, but 60, 70, yeah, no problem whatsoever. So standard key wheels, guys, but it is a pretty key. In she goes. As you start up, there's your tripper, and here's your main display. Now over here you've got a couple of buttons there. So you've got your mode for your ABS. Now I'm just going to cover that one quickly because you do have ABS on the bike front and rear. Now you can turn it off so that on the back it's disengaged. So if you want to do some off-roading, green laning, that's where that's going to come into play. Over here, so you've got your selection button. If you look at your main display, just clicking through, so you've got your trip, average speed, and then at the top here you've got temperatures, obviously the time, odometer as well. So display wise, yeah, it's not a massive TFT with a separate nav unit, but when you consider this bike is only just over £4,500 in the UK, I think it's got everything you need. Right, just to cover the switchgear then quickly, guys. So underneath you've got your horn, indicator, obviously you can cancel it from there, full or dip beam, and here's your trigger flash or overtake at the front there. On the right hand side, you've got your kill switch there, you've got a hazard button, this is new for 2021, and then you've got your ignition underneath. Obviously throttle, and then you've got your brakes, and obviously brake reservoir. Clutch, you know, very responsive, yeah, it's very, very nice. Obviously ignition at the top here, that's where your key is going to go. No keyless ride on this one, I'm afraid, guys. And there's your fuel cap on there as well. In terms of comfort of this seat though, I'm just going to give you a bit of a 360 tour as we go around. Do you know what, I mean, don't be fooled by the price. Comfort wise, this is probably right up there with some of the really expensive bikes that I review. Yeah, that is actually really nice. Longer journeys, I mean, yeah, I don't know, but most bikes, let's be honest, you know, longer journeys, comfort is a bit questionable, I should say, but yeah, first impressions, really, really nice. In terms of the wheels then and the layout, you've got 21 inch at the front and 17 at the back, and you've got these kind of semi-road off-road tyres on there as well. In terms of the feel for the road from those tyres then, yeah, so far so good. I haven't done any off-road yet, but we are going to be doing a video in the future with a bit of green laning, so stay tuned for that one. Okay, the wind is picking up a little bit, but hopefully this will be okay. So brake-wise at the front then, guys, now although it doesn't say Brembo on there, these are actually Bybri, if you want to pronounce it that way. So it stands for abbreviated by Brembo. So they're actually part of the Brembo group. And you've got a 300mm ventilated disc at the front, and at the back you've got a 240 ventilated disc, and again it's Bybri for the calipers. Now initial feel of those brakes, and I'm going to try them a bit more on the proper ride in a minute, but just straightforward, yeah, they did the job perfectly well. So for a 24 horsepower bike, yeah, braking power absolutely spot on. We'll do a bit more testing on the proper ride, but yeah, very, very good. Chassis wise for 2021, it's weighing in at 199 kilograms, and that's fully fueled. And the fuel tank is 15 litres, so we'll have to see what that's like, but you should be getting, to be fair, probably on this bike, well over 50 miles per gallon on average, I would say. Colour wise, we were really lucky on this one to get the Granite Black. Now you've got a few to choose from. You've got the Mirage Silver Pine Green, which is slightly more expensive. You've got the Lake Blue, the Rock Red, and the Gravel Grey. And I think the grey and the pine are actually really awesome, but I don't think any of the colours on this bike are actually bad at all. And I really, really do like this black one. Very nice. Right, so engine wise then, guys, this is single overhead cam, and it's 411cc, and it produces 24.3 horsepower from the brochure and 32 newton meters of torque. On the actual ride section, we'll give it a proper belt through the gears and, you know, test the throttle out properly, but, you know, to be fair, for what it is, it felt fantastic. Suspension wise at the front then, you've got 41mm telescopic forks, and yeah, it was nice plush feeling, but, you know, still positive and great feeling for the front wheel. And at the back in there, you've got the monoshock on there. So no dynamic suspension Ujima flips on this one, guys, but for what you're going to be using it for, I really doubt you're going to need it. And transmission wise, guys, this one's actually 1 down 4 up, so it's a 5-speed setup on there. And so far, very responsive. Gear changes were positive, and we'll give it a bit more on the ride so I can test it out properly. But so far, so good. Just to mention a couple of nice to haves, you have got the centre stand on there as well. And on this model, you do get the luggage set up as well, so you can have your rear box on there. It just comes with the Himalayan, so that's really nice to have. Right, let's start her up then. So there's your neutral indicator at the top there. Compass has come to life. It's letting us know the side stand is down. And there's that exhaust. Let's give it a little bit. It's a good sound, to be fair. Oh, I love the smell. Beautiful. Okay then guys, enough talking. I'm going to set the navigation to go, and then I'll do some cuts for it, as you can see. The rest will pick up on the ride. Alright guys, that was your walk around done. Now for the fun bit. Let's take her for a ride. Bop, 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 bop. So here we are then. So power on. There she is, coming to life. Right, ignition's down there. Boom. Now, for a tall person, super easy to get on, I might say, when you're on. And it might be that I'm a lump, you know, suspension obviously drops down a bit, but I'm a big boy. So yeah, very cool. Right, so we're just going to connect to the bike. Right, which we are now connected, so that's very cool. Yep, little logo come up. Right, so there's the screen then, guys. And what we're going to do, Maresfield, right, near us. So already that's pinged up how far it is. Now this is the first time doing this for me as well, so I don't know what it's going to do. So it's loaded in, get directions, navigate. Boom, there you go. Okay, look, so the trip has come to life. Beautiful. Right, put that away. All right. Navigation on. I kind of feel like I'm on holiday in a way, and I've just rented a bike for next to nothing, and I'm going to boom around on some beach somewhere. Go on girl, come on, you can do it. (100) Nearly 100 kilometers an hour. Yeah, see, look, there's 50. Nice and easy. Dodge the fox, yuck. Woo! So what we're going to do then, guys, we're going to try and cover a few different road types if we can, apart from kind of green laning off-road. But as I say, stay tuned, so we're going to be doing a video on that. So if you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing, give it a like, and then you'll know when that video pops up. Right, so this section up ahead then, this is going to be going into you know, 30 area, so let's just get down to that. Third gear, that suits that pretty nicely. So yeah, it's very happy at that. So third gear 30, and it's at just over 3,000 RPM. Now your red line on this is what, 6.5, and that's pretty much where it makes most of its peak horsepower. So it's 24.3 is going to be at 6,250 RPM, I reckon. And max torque's around, I think it's between 4,250 and 4,500 RPM, and that's 32 Newton meters. Which, alright, you know, for some of us it's going to seem like rookie numbers, but to be fair, we've all been there, and if you're just starting out or you've just done your A2, this bike actually feels pretty sprightly. You know, it feels positive on the throttle, the torque's there, it's nice, it's smooth, power delivery isn't scary or anything, and this is A2 compliant out of the box. So if you have quite literally just done your A2 and you're looking for a bike which is going to give you really good MPG, very comfortable for those longer journeys, and you might want to stick a, you know, a box on the back. You could even get the panniers for these as well. Actually, I'll do a little cut to that because they're pretty nice. Get the black ones. But yeah, you can definitely do it on this bike, and you know, you're going to get great range on it. I mean, I don't know the full range of the tank, but I remember back in the day when I had a 125 and I put like 15 quid in it. I don't even know if it took that, to be fair. I could quite literally get well over 200 miles out of a tank. You know, it kind of sipped the fuel, so this might be quite similar to that. You probably get over 200, 250 quite easily from the tank. So yeah, if you were thinking about this for maybe, you know, first kind of bike after the A2, you wanted it for maybe commuting to and from work, maybe even a bit of delivery stuff, you know, put a box on the back and panniers, you've got a bike which for, you know, just over 4.5 grand is going to give you access to that. You know, you're going to get your freedom, and yeah, you know, it's incredibly frugal. It's going to be cheap to insure, cheap to run. You've got your nav there if you want to use it for journeys. So yeah, very, very cool. I mean, handling wise, I can't really fault it. Of course, we're not going super quick or anything, but almost in comparison to any bike that I go on, just normal road usage, yeah, it's just point and shoot, you know. So right, where's this nav coming into play? Because I'm assuming because it was straight on, it's not going to do anything. But down here, it should be coming up with turn right. Right, so, whee! Wait, how do those with these? Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, beautiful. Nice and smooth. Lovely and smooth. Stay sitting down. Boop, boop. Doo, doo. Yeah, no drama at all. Very, very comfortable. So yeah, you know, bumps and bits and bobs, UK roads. Yeah, it's good. You know, drains, potholes, that kind of malarkey. No drama. It's nice and smooth. Up we go. Bonk, bonk. Yeah, I mean, I think this would actually make a pretty decent commuter bike. I really do. So there we are, fourth gear at 30, just kind of cruising along. Yeah, nice. Good little burble from the exhaust there. Just popping along. Beautiful. Yeah, it's nice that. Up to 40. I'm not ringing it, by the way, that's just gently, gently. Up into 5th. Yeah, it's good. Down here in a minute we'll get to wring its neck a little bit more. Just do a mixture of roads really. But yeah, kind of slower riding, your towns, no problem whatsoever. I mean, the bike feels very well planted and not big and heavy or cumbersome or anything like that at all. Really not like that at all. Hang a right. But yeah, does the job that. I mean, I must admit I've been sporting some of the bikes that I ride where you've only got to think about accelerating and away you go. But for 24 and a bit horsepower, yeah, it does the job perfectly well. At the end of the day, you'll see in a minute on the faster section, she's going to get to the faster speeds, the legal speeds anyway, without drama. And you're going to do it in comfort. And that's pretty much what you can ask for a bike like this really, is to be reliable, get you from A to B in comfort and style and in safety. And you get the added bonus that this is going to be really cheap to insure. And obviously to run, you know, service costs and fuel costs also going to be really good for that as well. Right, just while we're on these roads then, let's just talk about the position then. So let's go comfort to start with. Comfort wise, I'm a big lad and I'm 6'4", and definitely not cramped in any way. The seat's nice actually, it's quite wide, it's quite cushiony, suspension's quite comfortable as well. Position of my arms, you know, it's quite upright, yeah, so you're not leaning forward at all, just pretty much just sit straight upright. Good position, not too wide at all, good distance from me, so that's really good. Yeah, you know, general visibility for the mirrors and stuff, yep, spot on, no need to do anything with them or change them. Visibility of the screen's also very, very good, very clear. You know, it's not often these days you look down and you've got a kind of analog dial on there, and you know, I kind of miss those days, to be fair. They were simpler times, weren't they? But everything is easy to see, okay? Yeah, very, very straightforward. Tachometer on the top right there, fuel gauge bottom right, and then you've got your compass far right there. Only thing I will say is the tripper, by the way, I think it's because my phone is in my backpack, but I think we've lost range on it, so what you might need to do if you're going to use the nav on there is get a cradle and sit it at the top, because the minute I put it in the back and set off, it looks like we've kind of dropped the signal on there. But you could see that it paired, and it does do turn by turn, so I think that's just kind of getting it set for yourself. And to be fair, most of the demos and videos that I've seen, people using it, they've got a cradle mounted on the bars. But yeah, handling wise and comfort wise so far, yeah, really good. You know, it's confidence inspiring through the corners, you've got plenty of grip there. I'll see what it's like when we do green laning as well, because that could be quite interesting, certainly for me, because I don't come from a background of any kind of off-road at all really. But for day-to-day road usage, yeah, very, very good. Again, like most bikes, when she's going, you could just do the push and pull, you know, counter steer approach on there, and she's very, very light and responsive. Pretty much just look where you want it to go, and she's just going to follow around. Let's find our spot, and we're going to go. Go on, girl. Woohoo! Right, so comfort wise is good, and cornering feel very, very good. I want to try out these brakes, okay? So we're only going to be going 40 miles an hour, nothing behind us at all. Just see what they're like. I'm not an emergency, so I just want to try them out first. So yeah, I mean, that was good. I mean, this is like a brand new bike as well, so let's just try a bit more. And that wasn't trying to stop, by the way. Okay, yeah, no, that's plenty good enough. Right, now we've got a car behind, so I'm not going to do any more brake tests, but to be fair, what we just did there, I wouldn't expect a lot more from any other bike really at those kind of speeds. Did the job perfectly well without trying to do a stoppie or something, you know, so as far as I'm concerned, yeah, spot on. Nice little ride across the forest here, guys. Beautiful. Bit windier today, but so far then we've covered tech specs of the bike, bits and bobs of comfort. The brakes are good. It has ABS, and you can disengage the ABS to the back wheel if you're going to be doing a bit of off-road, bit of green laning. And we're going to be doing a video on that soon as well, on this very bike, so you can actually see a bit of that. You never know, you might see a blooper of me coming off, hopefully not, but it might well happen, guys, it might well happen. But yeah, comfort wise, very, very good. Seats lovely and plush. Ergonomics great. Engine wise then, just to kind of recap on that. So it's a 411cc single overhead cam, and it produces 24.3 horsepower and 32 newton meters of torque. So in terms of legal speed limits and whatnot, yeah, it's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. In a minute we're going to do a section of, you know, kind of 60 speed down there, 60, 70. See how it compares. See how well it gets to the speed limit as well. But yeah, so far so good. Very easy to ride. Put it into fifth. So gearbox, nice and responsive by the way, easy to get through the gears. Easy to find neutral as well, no dramas there. Now, there's your light activation as no one's in front. And there's your flasher. Oi oi. Oi oi, Himalayan coming through! And there's your horn. There was no one around to alert, by the way, so just testing it just to make sure it works properly. So I guess, you know, again, maybe if you're just coming back to biking, you know, you've hung up your racing days and, you know, you don't want to lump out 20 grand on a bike, but you want something that's going to give you that freedom back again, you know, with very, very low running costs, cheap to insure, cheap to run, cheap to fuel, gets you from A to B in style and comfort, and you can maybe program a few little journeys and just use your bits and bobs you nav on there. I think this is a great bike for that. You get good wind protection as well from this. Now you can probably look at a couple of different options for it as well, and there's always going to be aftermarket bits for a bike. Something you might want to look into is the cradle for your phone if you're going to run the nav, and possibly even look into some heated grips for it as well. Right, down here guys, we're going to get its 200 mile an hour top out. You ready? That's national speed limit. Yeah, caught him in fine. Go on girl. I might have to tuck in. Go on girl. It's like Donkey Kong from Mario Kart. Da, 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 da. Right, so there's your 70. 5,000 RPM in fifth, right? So it's still got a bit left. Through the roundabout. Nice and easy. But for your exploratory trips, you know, going out on a bit of an adventure, it's got all you need. It has literally all you need. You'll stay there. Knee down? I'm kidding. You probably could though, quite easily I would think. Right, we're going to head back through here now. I'll tell you what, it is good fun. Going out on any motorbike is fun, and if you don't want to spend the world and you just want a nice, easy bike to get on and ride, with all the bits I mentioned, cheap running costs, cheap to insure, you know, it's certainly a good option. It really is.
Before we finish, I just want to say a massive thank you to Keith Lewis and the guys at Rev-views Motorcycles. Absolutely wicked dealer with loads of amazing bikes, but be quick because they're selling fast and stock is becoming limited. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of the review. I hope you really liked this one. This was part 1 of 2. We're going to be doing an off-road section very soon as well with Lewis from Rev-views Motorcycles. So I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like if you enjoyed the video, and as always, stay safe, have fun, and I'll see you on the next one.